Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel. Yet another live stream. And today we are looking at team news reaction to Manchester United versus Arsenal. And you can see the team news right there on the screen. We've got Bayindir in goal, Maguire, Lissandro Martinez and De Ligt as the back three. Kobbie Mainoo and Ugarte in midfield with Mazraoui and Diogo Dalot as the wing backs. And then it's Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Højlund in the front line. It looks something a little bit like this. Now, I haven't actually seen the Arsenal team news just yet, so I will update it as I see it, or maybe you guys can let me know in the chat. But basically, today, the plan for today's stream is to react to this, to get your thoughts on this, look at where United potentially can exploit Arsenal, where we need to be strong defensively, and ultimately how we can win this game and progress in the cup. But before we get into any of that, get in the chat, guys, and let me know how you're doing. How are you? Are you good? How are we feeling about this game? Who we got? We've got David, we've got Ryan, we've got Chess, we've got Marcus. We've got loads of people in the chat. Good afternoon to all you guys. I hope you're well. We've got David in the chat with a gifted membership straight away as well, going to James. David, thank you very much. Guys, you know what to do. Turn the chat green. David, how are you, mate? How are you? Thank you very much, as always, for the support. You're an absolute legend. Ahmad has a slight injury against Liverpool, so don't storm in asking where is Ahmad. Yep, very important. Ahmad is not starting this game, but we knew that he had a knock, so it's not exactly a surprise. It's still a little bit disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. In terms of the Arsenal team, I will just quickly go through it. We've got David Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Lewis Skelly. Then we've got, it's Marino in midfield, which is interesting. That changes things a little bit. Marino, Jorginho, and Odegaard in midfield. And then it is a Jesus Havertz, Martinelli front line. So I would assume Havertz goes up top and Jesus goes out to the right wing would be my guess. That would be my guess. Am I right on that, do you reckon? Am I going to do a watch along? Not today. Maybe I'll do one in the future. I'll be honest, it's a little bit unlikely. It's not really my thing because I want to analyse the games more. But perhaps in the future, someday we will. We shall see. Why is Ahmad absent? He's not entirely absent. He's absent from the starting 11, but I believe, let me just double check. He is on the bench. He picked up a slight knock against Liverpool, basically. Ruben Amorim said this the other day. So this isn't Ahmad dropped. It's not even him rotated. It's just protecting him physically. There's not a need to push him, right? Imagine you push him, he gets a worse injury today and is out for 2 months. That'd be an absolute nightmare. So I believe that is all that is going on there. Check United match day for Arsenal team news. Yeah, just got to make it. Thank you very much, Nev. Do appreciate it. Ahmad is on the bench, maybe because of that knock. I would assume so. I would assume that is the reasoning. I mean, also, give Garnacho some time, right? Give him some game time. He's not started very much at all recently, not played too many minutes, so get him in the team. Score predictions, we will do that a little bit closer towards the end of the stream. We're not going to do that just yet. Towards the end, we will come towards that. How do we feel about it then? Seeing the team news for both sides, and perhaps we need to look at Arsenal a lot here as well, because perhaps we haven't paid as much attention to it. I see a midfield that we can get at. I think Arsenal got some good players in there. Odegaard, of course, is wonderful. Marino is a great player, physically very strong. Jorginho is a good footballer. But I don't think it's as intense as when you see Rice and Partey in midfield. So I think it's slightly easier to play against. By the way, guys, any repeat comments in the chat will not be read out. Say it once. I might see it, I might not. If I don't, sorry. If you want to guarantee I see it, you can use a super chat or something. If I do miss your message, I do apologise, but I try to read as many as possible. Also in the chat, you will see a message pinned at the top. It is a link to our Discord server. Thank you very much to David for that. Get involved. Very good, and I'm very sure it will be busy during match day this afternoon. Collier to replace Mainoo after Ugarte gets so many yellows. Is Collier on the bench? He is. Let's quickly run through the bench. We've got Andre Onana, obviously. We've got Tyrell Malacia. Nice, good to see him back in the squad. Lenny Yoro, I would expect to see him at some point in this game. Ahmad, Casemiro, Toby Collier, Christian Eriksen, Anthony, and Joshua Zirkzee. So perhaps we lack a bit of attacking impact there, apart from Ahmad. But we've got some midfield options, some experienced players that can manage the tempo of a game as well. I like it. A watch along with AJ would be such a learning experience. Maybe someday. It's tradition that I watch all the matches with my brother. If he is ever busy and therefore can't watch a match, then I will do a watch along. But apart from that, it's not happening. But maybe someday. Maybe someday. Edwick, good afternoon, mate. How are you feeling about this team news? What do we reckon? What do we reckon? Surprised at no Rice for Arsenal. I mean, for Arsenal, they had a really difficult game in midweek against Newcastle. And that's where we've perhaps got an advantage today. We are fresh. We've had a week off. Arsenal played Newcastle. Very, very difficult. Physically, we experienced it the other week, right? Newcastle are tough to play against. They take it out of you. So that's probably why they've rotated a little bit more than perhaps what we have. But still, it's a strong Arsenal team without a doubt. That back four at the moment is up there with their strongest. Maybe you could argue change at left back, but apart from that, it's strong. The front three with the Saka injury, I would argue that is their strongest front three without Saka. So it's still a strong team. Ahmad should be starting. He is injured, but he is on the bench. He is on the bench. Ahmad had a knock against Liverpool. Yeah, exactly. Euro isn't starting because our back three is getting more stable. Why change when it's finally working? Exactly. I mean, I'm someone who will never complain too much at rotation, right? I think it's, if you're rotating 2, maybe 3 players, I think it's good to keep people fresh, keep people rested, help people understand the new system, etc. But ultimately, for the past 18, 19, perhaps 20 months, right, going back to the start of last season, I have regularly, in these live streams, particularly the preview ones, gone, unfortunately, we can't play the team that we played last week because we've got to rotate. So Ruben Amorim's actually got a rare game here where he can keep largely the same team. And I think what's important is, I think what we often talk about being the base of the Amorim side is the same as the last match. And that's being that back three, the double pivot and the wing backs. So taking the goalkeeper out of the equation for a second, the deep 7 outfielders played last week. So that is good to see. A bit of continuity in the team is good. Is this the last chance for Garnacho? No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think he's got plenty of time. I don't see him leaving in January, although there are a lot of rumours this afternoon. But I would be surprised if he was to leave the club in January. I think that will probably be Marcus Rashford. So realistically, Garnacho's got 6 months, right, to, more than anything, perhaps sort his attitude out a little bit. Apply himself properly on the pitch and off the pitch. And then we'll go from there. Defence is the most important position to have stability, in my opinion. Communication is so vital. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think not just the defence, but also the defence to the midfield 2 in front of them. I think that's really important. And again, the fact that we can do that this week is a huge positive. Feeling another monster performance from Ugarte today? Yeah, I think he'll fancy himself in this game. I think he'll fancy himself. And you know what? It's really nice to see that we're talking about Arsenal here, right? A big, big game. One of the best teams in England. One of the best teams in the world still. And there's an air of confidence. Not an expectation that we're going to win, but a genuine belief that we can. I think that's good. It's nice to have that on a match day. I think Ugarte in particular against Jorginho, if we can overwhelm those positions, that's a mismatch there in terms of energy, in terms of bite and kind of jumping about and bouncing about. Ugarte brings us a lot there. Not sure how I'm feeling about the game. Arsenal are a good side, very much so. My brother-in-law is an Arsenal fan, so he will be rubbing it in if they win. All right, well, for that alone, we can't let them win. Do you think Ugarte and Mainu is a top 4 midfield pair? It's a good question, Hunter. It's a really good question. I think what's important when we talk about pairings is that we expand it further than that. You can have an amazing double pivot, but if everything around them is poor, then they're never going to get top 4. Do I think you can get top 4 with those 2 in midfield? Yes, I do. In an ideal world, you have another midfielder as well that you can bring in and rotate. And of course, you know, the defence needs to be stronger or whatever. But I think those 2 are good. I like them. I think particularly for big games, I think this will suit them. The ability, because Arsenal will have spells of pressure. That's what they do. Arteta is a control freak. We said it the other day, right? He wants all the ball. He wants to control the controllables. And he sees it that when his team has the ball, particularly with a lot of players behind it as well, he can control the ball. And if Arsenal have got the ball, they can't concede. So Arsenal will have a lot of possession for certain spells of this game. I think for United, it's about when we win the ball back. Transitioning, yes, of course. Quickly getting the ball forward, looking for the channels, whatever. But also retention in the middle. And I think these 2 in midfield really bring us that. Particularly playing through the counter press. So the counter press, let's say Arsenal have got the ball, they're building an attack, and they lose it up here. Arsenal have a really good reaction to losing the ball. When they lose the ball in these areas, a bit like Liverpool, their immediate reaction is to get towards the ball, to put you under pressure, to try and take the ball straight back off you. This is where Kobe and Ugarte need to be on it. They were last weekend, and when they are on it, I think they're good retention midfielders. If they can do it again this weekend, it gives United a way to play through that first phase, and then I think we have license to get forward and we can attack and cause some problems. So I think it's good. Why is Amorim not starting Xerxes? Yeah, to be honest, I'm not exactly surprised that he's not, because I thought it would be Højlund. But for Xerxes, it must be a bit of like a a bit of a blow for him in terms of his confidence. It's a cup game. Normally you might bring a different striker in. Although we do need to consider Thursday we've got Southampton, right? Now, I don't want to write Southampton off. It's not an easy game. There are no easy games. But perhaps that's where you can rotate a little bit more. Perhaps on Thursday we see our Xerxes come into the team. We'll see. No hate comments, please. I completely agree with that. David, spot on. Guys, you heard the mod. No hate talk, because you are just going to get silenced. And if not silenced, then just booted. I agree, and I think they complement each other quite well. They could be more progressive, though. Yeah, so that's where I'm really keen on emphasising the point. I think they're really good for these games. You know those games where it gets a bit hectic in the middle. You need someone to break up the play. We know Ugarte can do that. But then you need someone to kind of get on it and kind of manage the game emotionally a little bit on the ball, not get too caught up in the game. I think that's where they're really good. They probably struggle a little bit more in the games where we've got 70% of the ball when they've got to break a team down and find the passes through the line. So I think you're spot on, mate. I think you're spot on. Just play as intensive as the Liverpool match. We win. Simple as that. We've got a good rest. Let's go. I think, again, it's huge. It's huge that we've had a week off. And we saw the difference in performance when Ruben Amorim had, not 7 days to work with a squad because there's rest and things like that, but a full week before the Liverpool game. It made a big difference, right? The performance levels were much, much better. We've now had another week of that. So hopefully we see a jump again. And if we can technically and tactically make that sort of jump again, whilst applying minimum the intensity that we applied last week, then I think we've got an amazing opportunity in this game. And what a moment it would be for the club to win this match. Decent result against Liverpool last week. If we could then win this match as well, the momentum that gives us going forward, the confidence for the players, the manager, the fans, I think it would be great for us. I'd like Xerxes over Garnacho. Yeah, that's understandable. I think what Garnacho will give us a bit more of, though, is slightly more direct running. A direct threat at the Arsenal goal, running past players, trying to get in behind. So I understand that. Hope the corners are sorted today. Yeah, well. Let's really hope we don't jinx this. But Arsenal's two best corner takers, in my opinion, are Bukayo Saka when he takes them from the right, not fit, not available, and Declan Rice when he takes them from the left, and he's on the bench. So maybe, don't quote me on this, but maybe their set pieces won't be quite as dangerous because they haven't got the same corner takers. I mean, I dare say Odegaard can still put a good ball into the box, Jorginho as well, but it won't be quite the same. Not quite. After left wing back, what is the most important position to strengthen? Right wing back, 10 or striker? It's very difficult, right? It's very difficult to narrow it down to one position. I wouldn't go striker, not for me personally, unless we sell a striker. I'm okay with a striker position for now. I think we need another centre back, probably on the left hand side, someone athletic and things like that. We do need an extra midfielder, but that's not going to happen in January. And we do need an inside forward. What would I put top of that list? Maybe the extra midfield option. Apologies if you can hear Doggo in the background, by the way. I do apologise for that. I have a strong feeling that if we win this match, we're going to win the next 5 Premier League games back to back, and we'll be in a good position in the league table. That's the dream, right? That is the dream. That is the dream. Garnacho right wing. So that is what I wanted to talk about. You'll see I've actually clicked on Garnacho because that is what I want to lead on to. What way round do we reckon this is? I feel like my voice sounds different today. What way round do we reckon this is? Because naturally, Garnacho has played left side of the attack. It's where he tends to play, right? It's where he tends to play most matches. But when Marcus Rashford was playing in the side under Amorim, he was actually often on the right side. Could we be looking to do something similar again? To keep Bruno in that position that he played so well last weekend. Not broke, don't fix it. Leave Bruno where he played last week. Or is it going to be Garnacho on the left? I'm not really sure. I think it's difficult either side out wide. I think that Skelly and Timber are both great defenders. Good players, really nice players. I think Garnacho plays left side and he plays on the touchline with Dalot inverting. I like the idea behind that. And I think what I like the idea of even more is that it's not even that fixed, that they can rotate. So in moments, Dalot comes in here as Garnacho pulls wider, and let's get a winger at a fullback. Love it, like we saw against Liverpool. But also in moments, they can swap round as well, and we get more of a powerful carrier. I like the idea of doing both. For those who are just joining the stream, Ahmad is not in the starting 11 because he picked up a knock sometime between the Liverpool game, maybe in that game, but also during the week in training. Not sure when it was, but he is on the bench. So he's got a slight knock, so we haven't risked him, but he's not properly injured and out for a long time. Bruno over Garnacho? Well, they're both playing. So what do you mean, sorry? Nev says Bruno left, Garnacho right. Have you seen somewhere that it is that, or is that just your opinion? In terms of my opinion, I don't really know what it'll be. Not sure. Isn't a striker a more important issue, though? Because if we converted more, we'd win more games. To be honest, I don't think that we miss that many chances. I think we don't create enough chances. So for me, I think we need to do a better job in all of these areas to then allow us to try and apply the finishing touch more often. That's my opinion on it. That's my take. Ahmad has a knock, Amorim won't risk him. Exactly. With Bruno Fernandes as captain, how do you see his role evolving tactically in today's match? Well, I guess that also kind of leads into that conversation, right? Of, is he on the right-hand side or is he on the left? I'm trying to think what... I think it might be Bruno on the right, Garnacho on the left. And I think what we'll see is moments where Ugarte will kind of drop deep into sort of the middle of the block. And I wonder if Kobe and Bruno might shift either side like this. The lineup has been confirmed. Bruno on the left and Garnacho on the right. When you see lineups like that, a lot of them are assumptions. People assuming. Unless Manchester United have literally come out and gone, he's playing this side, it's all guesswork. Garnacho needs a big performance today. I think a lot of them do. I think Højlund needs a big performance. I think Lisandro Martinez played really well last week. Go give us another one. We absolutely need that. Yeah, by the way, guys, just to explain to you how a lot of apps out there work, right? They get an 11. They get in a list. They get told 11 players. They don't get told what positions they will play, which is why you'll often see that they actually look slightly different on the football pitch. So, yeah, including the United app. It happened a few weeks ago. Everyone saw on the United app that Bruno was playing one side. The second the ball kicked off, he was very clearly on the other side. So that is just a list of 11 players. They are not told specifically the position. So it could be either way. Hi AJ, I really don't see the benefit of us winning the FA Cup. It shouldn't be a priority, and the Europa League is easier to win. It also gets us Champions League and a potential Super Cup. I think I get your point, right, in terms of trying to get into the Champions League. The Europa League is good, and it is perhaps an easier route. It's a slightly weaker competition, although I believe that a lot of them are still double-legged and things, so it is tough in that. In terms of the benefit of us winning the FA Cup, it's winning a cup. Now, I know, obviously, we had it under Ten Hag, and it didn't mean that much, but what it does do, if you're a player, there's nothing better than winning. Winning is a habit, right? For footballers, and the best teams ever, they get to a point where winning is like a way of life. It's what they do. They just win football matches. So if you can win a lot of games, you can win cups. It's just so good for confidence. It's so good for confidence more than anything else. I think it's more than what competition we go into next season or what it allows us to qualify for or even the way it allows us to attract players. I don't think those are the most important things. It's purely for the squad you've got currently this season, the boost you get. Every match you win is a boost. You can feel it, right? We were looking at Liverpool and Arsenal on paper and thinking, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. Suddenly we get a draw. Only a draw against Liverpool, by the way, and a decent performance. And you can feel the lift, right, in the fan base in the last week after a draw. That's why winning trophies are so big. How did they predict Mazraoui on the 10 against Fenerbahce? Again, it changes. Sometimes they will get it right. Sometimes they will get it wrong. Hence, prediction. Right? Not set in stone. It's a prediction. They predicted he'd play that position. They were right that day. They have as much knowledge as I do purely on this front. Just logged on. What is Arsenal's weaker side? Their left side. Their left side is weaker for me. Although, yeah, I think you can target their left side. I think Odegaard is so clever with the way that he presses and things like that. I think he's the leader of this Arsenal team higher up the pitch. He orchestrates a lot of what they do. Timber's a wonderful player. So versatile, so technical, stronger than he looks. Great player. On the left, Lewis Skelly's a good young player, by the way. Really good. A lot of you guys will probably be seeing him for the first time tonight or this afternoon. Great player. A lot of potential there. Marino, good footballer. Martinelli, good footballer. But they're just not as complete as what they are on this side of the pitch. And I think there's somewhere that you can get at them in these positions. Now that Rashford is supposedly going, we really need Højlund and Garnacho to step up. 100%. We need all our forwards to step up. Højlund needs to score more. Garnacho, even Ahmad, Bruno, Xerxes. They all need more goals. Of course they do. Do you get Europe, as in the Conference or the Europa, if you win the FA Cup, or am I bugging? I believe, unless it's changed, you get the Europa League if you win the FA Cup. So it is another route into Europe for next season. The Arsenal team looks sluggish, especially that midfield. I still wouldn't label it as sluggish, but it's not quite Declan Rice. Right? There's not many players on the planet that are quite Declan Rice. They lose something without him. Physically, in terms of pure muscle going into battles, but also intensity. The way that he jumps about, again, the way he leads the press. Marino, because he's not as used to playing in this Arsenal team, plus he's not physically quite as good as Declan Rice, he does have moments where he struggles to time the press, because this midfield spot is difficult to play at Arsenal. What they'll often do is they sort of start off pressing you in like a 4-4-2. Not necessarily against us, because we play a different shape to most teams, as we know. But typically, Arsenal pressings a sort of 4-4-2 shape. And then what they will do eventually is ask the left-sided midfielder, normally Declan Rice, to then eventually take it man-to-man. And he might jump up onto the midfielder here. And then one of the centre-backs will jump as well. Normally it's Declan Rice doing that. And he can do it because he's an unbelievable athlete. Unbelievable. Marino is good, but he's not quite as good an athlete. And also, he just doesn't quite understand the timing as well because he hasn't played as much football. So there is maybe something in there, something that we can exploit, something that we can attack. Do you think United have the better chance of winning? I think it's really, really quite even, to be honest. Because what I would say to you guys, first of all, is look at the two teams real quick. Have a look through the two sets of players we've got on the pitch here. There isn't really a proven goal scorer on the football pitch. Jesus has had seasons, of course, where he scored a good amount of goals. Havertz has been good for Arsenal. In 2024, he had a really good year. Højlund has scored goals for us. Garnacho does. Bruno does. But in terms of proven goal scorers, which you associate with the big football clubs, there's not really one here. You know, for example, Salah at Liverpool is a proven goal scorer. He'll score you 30 goals a season. Haaland at City. United always used to have strikers like that. There isn't that goal scorer on the pitch today, which is interesting because I think it balances it up a little bit. Ultimately, football matches are won in the two boxes, right? You can do everything you want tactically in this area here, but the real way you win a football match is by being good here and by being good here. And neither team quite has that proven goal scorer, so I think it always evens the playing field a little bit. Plus the fact that I think Arsenal are a little bit low on confidence at the moment. I think it makes it interesting. Jesus is in good form. Yeah, he's in very good form. I still wouldn't describe him as a natural goal scorer, but he's definitely a threat. Do you know if Garnacho is on the left? We don't know. We don't know. Again, certain apps are predicting it that it will be this way round. Some are predicting it this way round. I'm really not sure what to think. We don't really have a way of finding out, unfortunately. What would you guys do? Ignore what you think we're going to do. What would you do? I'm going to make a poll for this, actually, because we don't very often do polls on these sorts of streams. So, Garnacho, would you go left forward or would you go right forward? Now, to get involved in the poll, all you've got to do is open the chat. I typed it wrong. Open the chat and press on the poll. It's completely free to do. You just press on which one you think. Also, while you're down there, if you could leave a like on the stream, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. If you could leave a like, it'd be great. So that is Garnacho, that poll, by the way. So Garnacho, left or right, what do we reckon? And yeah, like I said, leave a like on the stream, just because why not? It's just a nice thing to do, isn't it? And let's be nice this time of year. This time of year? All year. Let's be nice. Put Garnacho on the right, back him versus Lewis Skelly. Potentially. Although Lewis Skelly physically is actually a stronger player than Garnacho. He's very strong for his age. Very strong. Could you use the experience of Bruno up against the more inexperienced Lewis Skelly? Possibly. I don't know. There's a few different options here. He'll play on the right, confirmed. Unless Ruben Amorim has said it, it isn't actually confirmed. Even the United app, the social media team, do not get told the positions. They get told the players. I I'd much rather have Garnacho on the left so he's able to cut in. The only thing I would say to sort of counter that point real quick is we know that United like to do some possession work down this side of the pitch. We've got Lisandro Martinez over here. Kobe is one of our more press-resistant players. Diogo Dalot, technically pretty good on the ball. If you put Bruno to the left and Garnacho to the right, is there an option to, play this way, overload this area, so you kind of draw Arsenal over? We know this happens. It's how football teams defend. You shift over to the ball side. Does it then give us some potential, perhaps, to then find switches to the more direct running of Garnacho? I think from the right, he's able to be a bit more direct because he's right-footed. He can get the ball on the outside and attack in that way. I wonder if that might suit him. I wonder if that could suit him. If we predominantly focus this side, and then you've got Bruno Fernandes's right foot, important, cutting in and then playing that ball with the right foot. Particularly if Højlund can run across players, if he can take a Gabriel with him. I wonder if there might be potential to find that. I think it's something we should look for in this game if Garnacho is on the right. Bruno also works better with Dalot. Yeah, also a fair point. Those two played well last weekend as well. That's important to remember. Tron, good afternoon, mate. How you doing? It's been a while. It has. How have you been and how are you feeling about United at the moment and also here? Fair play to Spurs, by the way. They've managed to take the mighty Tamworth to... Have they actually... Is that gone extra time? That's quite amusing. I've watched a lot of Tamworth, weirdly, because at one point they're in the league of the team I was working for. So I've actually seen a lot of Tamworth. Good YouTube channel, if I do recall correctly. Yeah, Tron, it's been good recently. Kind of since Dalot missed open goal and Ten Hag got sacked, we've had a lot of progress. Going to be a boring watch. Have we ever won with the lineup? So do you mean this lineup? Has this lineup ever won together? Is that what you're saying? I don't know if I've played together this lineup, to be honest. Yeah, Tamworth, look at them shining. Love that for them. Yeah, it's actually gone extra time. Love that. Guys, keep me updated on that one. It's night here in India. Okay, good afternoon to people. Good night to people. Good morning. Good evening. Did I already say that? Whatever else is in between. How's the bench looking? We've got some decent options. We've got Yoro on the bench who could come on, and I think he will at some point. We've got Ahmad. Will we see him? I'm not sure. It depends how bad that knock is. But he could come on from the bench. We've got Xerxes, I believe I said Anthony. We've got Casemiro. We've got Ericsson. We've got Collier. There was someone else as well. Malacia. Onana. Is there one more? No, I think that is right. Tell you what we have got. We've got David back in the chat again, like an absolute legend. Oh, and it's gone to Tron. Perfect. David with the gifted membership. What a bloody legend, mate. David, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Very kind of you, as always. Just, guys, David's just a legend. Can we just take a second to appreciate David? Just one nice guy. Be more like David. He's just a lovely bloke. He's just lovely. He's generous with his gifted memberships and things like that. But the way he talks, everything. Just a legend. Just a legend. Shout out to The Truman Show. Favourite film of all time. Or certainly in the top 3. Such a good film. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Great film. Garnacho to Napoli. Not sure what's happening there, to be honest. I don't know if it will happen or not. I don't think it will happen in January, personally, because I think losing Rashford and Garnacho would be mental halfway through a season. Collier could make an appearance today, perhaps. I'd quite like to see it. I think if you make a change halfway through a game, you bring Mainu and Ugarte off for Ericsson or Casemiro, you lose a lot. You lose a lot of energy, intensity. Collier can actually replace it quite nicely. So I would like to see him. And again, it feels like Manchester United FA Cup heritage, right? To have these young players in the team, even if they're not starting from the bench. So, yeah, I'd like to see him given a chance in this game. Did you hit 46,000 subs in 2024? We hit it on like the 4th of January this year, something like that. You're making me blush. Well, what can I say, mate? What can I say? Half of that bench has to go, all besides Onana, Yoro, Collier, and Ahmad. We're not going to have much of a squad left if we do that, mate. The poll's got 159 votes. That is insane. I also pressed end poll and I didn't actually look at the result. Can someone tell me, did anyone see the result of the poll? There it is. Left forward. Left forward Garnacho is what you guys have gone for. I don't know which I prefer. I actually really don't. I'm watching Feyenoord versus Utrecht. Zidane Iqbal is ridiculously press resistant. Yeah, he's a nice profile of player, really nice. Legit think he could have done a job in this United side. His profile always looked nice. He always looked like that player who could get on the ball, tight turn and stuff like that. It was just always the question of the levels that he could go to. I think the subscriber goal was a little bit delayed. Yeah, it is. It's bugged. It's very bugged. I think we're on about 46,800 and something. And obviously that's about 700 behind. But I think you guys should subscribe anyway if you're new here. Like, even if you're not new here, sometimes you've been sitting here for ages and then you realise you're not even subscribed, which is crazy. So if you could subscribe, that'd be great. That'd be great. Why do you think he has benched Ahmad? Could it be tactical or simply resting? There's a chance it's a little bit of the both. He might want the directness of Garnacho, but also Ahmad does have a knock, so a slight injury. So I'd imagine it's protecting him as well. Someone I want to talk about that we haven't even mentioned his name yet, apart from when I read the team out. Bayindir in goal. How do we feel about that one, my friends? How do we feel about it? Because I saw some of the reaction and it was just instantly like, Bayindir. But it's weird, right? I think he's now suddenly got this, like, negative feeling around him because he had a bad game against Spurs. I think what you got to remember in the case of Bayindir, he's a good goalkeeper, first of all. He's good at all of the foundations. He's good at the basics. Solid goalkeeper. He's decent on the ball. He can play out from the back, things like that. He plays 4-5 times every 2 years. You're never going to see the best from a goalkeeper when they play once every however many months. What, under Ten Hag, he played, what was it, 1 game? This season he's played, is it 2 or 3 cup games and that's it? You're never going to see the best of a goalkeeper when they play so infrequently. Now, it's not new. This isn't rare. We expect this from goalkeepers. Most teams have the starter and the cup keeper. But I think it's always harsh on the cup keepers because they're judged in these one-off games, which tend to have a lot of eyes on them because they're more accessible for people. And they haven't played in months. So I think we should be like generous and gentle almost with him. He's not going to be sharp. He's going to be a little bit low on confidence because he did make errors. He wasn't good enough in the last game. But you know what? I think he's a good goalkeeper. And I'm confident with him. I'm confident. I think it's time for him to leave for his own sake. Actually get minutes. Probably. Manu, good afternoon, sir. How you doing? Oh, even Callum's happy to see you. Look at that. My mod's right there. Surprise player doesn't play well when you play 4 times in 2 years. Yeah, exactly. Don't mind Bayindir. I think he's a fine goalie, but he just doesn't have match sharpness ever. Yeah, and it's always going to be tough, right? Imagine you had a centre-back who you play once every 4 months. And then he's not quite up to match speed and everyone judges him for it. It's crazy, right? Justice for goalkeepers. Jokes, I don't like him. Needs playing time, he just never plays. I mean, for him as an individual, purely him personally, it would be great for us to go on a cup run. Because it means he gets to play football. Gets to do his job, which he probably wants to do. How much is Ahmad making on his new contract? I don't actually know, but we do fortunately have a man who's a bit of a transfer guru, so perhaps a contract guru as well. His name is Manuel. Loved by all. Hated by few. So he might know. He might know. He's in the chat. Ask him. Unless he's already left, that'd be sad. Romero is a great example of that, as he was overshadowed by De Gea. Exactly. There's so many goalkeepers that never get their chance. It's really weird. Okay, Manuel, just hyped you up like that, mate. And you've said 700k. Goalkeeper is suspect, though? Yeah, goalkeepers are always judged harshly. It's just how the world works. And honestly, rightfully so. Anyway, rest of the team. Thoughts on Lisandro Martinez in this game? We, in our stream the other day, actually I think I kind of overruled it a little bit, went for Yoro. For the extra height, the extra physicality, particularly for set pieces, the ability to go win a header. I would have liked to have seen Yoro in the team. Lisandro Martinez, I understand why he plays. He's left-footed. He brings us a nice balance, which other players can't do. He played well last weekend. He played well against City last month, so I do understand it. John, what a lovely question, mate. He said, AJ, happy Sunday. How are you? You know what? Everyone always asks, how are United? How's Ahmed? Not how's AJ? Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you, actually. Pretty good. I'm tired, but I'm not bad at all, thanks, mate. I hope you are good as well, and happy Sunday to you. Chad. I must inform you, sir, that United played this afternoon. Oh, Callum's happy to see Chad as well. What a lovely community we've got going on here, right? Look how happy we are when we see each other. I literally just seen the lineup, rushed back home, and this guy drops Onana and Ahmad. Yeah, so Ahmad is a knock, an injury, so that's why he is not in the starting 11. He's on the bench. Onana dropped cup rotation, right? Everyone does it. So Odegaard is Mainu's guy. I would have thought so, yeah. There's a chance Ugarte and Kobe play the other way around, and that's also a change we could make during the match, which we've done in the past. But if it is Kobe against Odegaard, that's a really interesting battle, because I think Odegaard is always a player which physically is a little bit underrated. He's actually quite a strong little player. It's going to be a good battle for Kobe. Hopefully he can come out on top of that. If he can, I think that gives us an amazing opportunity. If we win that battle there, and this one here, I think there's a lot. How is the relationship with your parents, AJ? What a question. Great, thank you. My parents are lovely people, and they get on very well. Is today's Chad's birthday? Or is he just singing a song? Chad, if it's your birthday, happy birthday, mate. Have an amazing day. What a legend. I think Licha does good today, just worried about the set pieces. Yeah, set pieces is a concern. Set piece is the concern. Again, like I've said already, no Rice, no Saka makes it a little bit easier for us because they are the best set piece takers. But yeah, there's a worry there because our midfielders don't exactly make up for it. You know, we're not huge in midfield either, so not sure. Aren't United outnumbered in midfield for this match unless Bruno Fernandes drops deep? Brilliant question. And actually the answer is yes. The answer is yes. It is quite likely that we get overloaded in midfield. What Arsenal will often do is move to a back three, like so. One of the fullbacks, they can both do it. It'll be one at a time. We'll go into midfield with Jorginho. These two will pick up in the half spaces. If you look at this on paper, that gives United 2 players here against 4. Mismatch. Now, I think the solution to that for this game will be to drop the wide 2 a little bit deeper alongside them, like we did last week against Liverpool. I think that will be important. I think that will be important to help balance out a little bit. There's so much red flags with our lineup, just find a way to win. There's a couple here and there. I would say the same for Arsenal as well, though, to be fair. I don't know if it actually is Chad's birthday, if he was just singing. I really don't know. Chad, if it is your birthday, happy birthday. And guys, I want to see, you know what, whether it's his birthday or not, I want to see the chat wishing Chad a happy birthday. Because if it's not his birthday, it'd just be funny, so. Delusion got us a draw at Anfield. Hey, remember the stream last week? Delusion, the cope? Well, it was there. It was there, and we were so close. But as for that last minute goal, if it... imagine. Always wondered, and I never really pay attention, is Saliba's wide channel defending good? It is good. He's very quick for a start. He's athletic. He's agile. He can turn. He can match the way that a winger dribbles. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a specialist. You know, he actually often plays in the middle. For example, a few seasons ago, it was Gabriel to his left, Ben White to his right to keep him in the middle because he's not the most aggressive defender in the world. Normally, wide defenders are aggressive. Saliba's a bit more passive, so he tends to play here. But yeah, he is a good wide defender. It's my birthday and I'm singing. All right, guys, make sure put happy birthday Morton in the chat. I want to see just a chat full of happy birthday Morton. Because Morton / Chad, but he prefers to be called Morton. That's what his friends call him. He's an absolute legend on this channel, an icon of the channel. And it looks like he knows that United played today. So we should reward him by wishing him happy birthday. Do you think Kobe Mainoo could play in the left 10 position? I think he could play there. I wouldn't necessarily encourage it. Oh, we got a super chat from David. See, this is what I mean. He's just a nice guy. Saying, happy 22nd, Chad. We love you, even if it's not your birthday. Very, very true. Do we love him? I'm not sure. Yeah, we love him. Why not? Thank you very much, David, again. Look at that. Look at the chat. Beautiful. Which shirt is United wearing today? Good question. I don't actually know. Last time we wore blue at the Emirates, didn't we? Mr. AJ, why are you not adding more diversity into the channel? Maybe live watch-alongs and podcasts. Your channel will grow even faster. Podcasts have been considered. Not sure on that front. There is going to be a website this year which I know doesn't help grow the channel, but it's the brand, the business, if you like. There is plans in work for a second channel. It's been delayed a little bit for a few reasons, but we're trying to do things. Watch-alongs just unlikely because the channel's focused at analysis more than reaction. I think it's better if I take my time to assess it and then bring you guys the information rather than saying it all on the spot. Although we'll probably do one day. Pardon me, I do apologise. Look at the birthday wishes for Morton. That is beautiful. That should be his profile picture, just a screenshot of all of that. Do you think Bruno can play striker? Yeah, here and there. I wouldn't do it long term. I wouldn't do it on a regular basis, but I think he can play false 9 certain games. Bruno seems to challenge more and go for the byline. Is that by instruction? Do you mean he's taken players on more? Trying to carry past people, trying to dribble past people? If so, I would agree. I would agree. You say Arsenal are in white today? Oh, was that their thingy kit? They often wear that in the cup, don't they? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we'll be in blue then, I would have thought. Maybe we can do a cup game watch along one day. Yeah, there'll be a game at some point we can. It won't be just yet. Maybe even pre-season if the hours are weird. Is this the best game for Højlund? I'm not too sure. We were talking the other day. We done a tactical preview. By the way, if this is your first stream and you don't know kind of how we run things, we do tactical previews on a Friday, talking about the game coming at the weekend. And then say if we play on a Wednesday, we'll do another preview stream on a Wednesday to look at the game. And we try and figure out tactically the best 11s for United, how you can win the match, whatever. Something we were talking about was because Arsenal play with a double pivot rather than a solo, it means that they lack one player to occupy this zone. And Saliba in the middle is a little bit passive. So he doesn't always want to go in there. So I think there can be a space in there. Now, typically you would expect Xerxes to be the better player to occupy that space. But perhaps the versatility of Højlund might be better for us. The fact that he can stretch him behind one move to take Saliba, but then on the next one he comes in there. He might get some space in now. I'm not sure, but he might. Garnacho and Højlund versus this backline. Yeah, I think we're going to need to sustain some attacks to really carry a big threat. AJ, this is the team he played against Wolves with Garnacho, straight swap for Ahmad. Is it? What, outfield? I can't actually remember. Spurs scored finally. Off topic, are you still following Javi Guerra? Haven't watched him for a long time, to be honest. Haven't watched him for a while. Might need to again, though. Any news on when Mount is back? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Anyway, we are getting really close to kickoff now. I didn't realise what the time was. Score prediction time. Score prediction time, but also goal scorer prediction. And if you are a member, it's pretty cool, right? If you're a member of this channel, what you can do is open up the emojis on YouTube and pick the goal scorer. You can literally pick who you think is going to score. Unfortunately, we've only got the forwards. Eventually, as we grow as a channel, we'll add more other players. For now, we've only got forwards, but if you can, use them for your prediction. It looks kind of cool in the chat. If you had the chance to speak to Amram, what would you ask him? That's a great question. I have no idea. What would I ask Ruben Amram if I could? I genuinely don't know. Genuinely don't know. Seen 2-1 to United, love it. Seen Garnacho predict a goal scorer, love it. Yeah, guys, let's see some scores in the chat. You want mine? Okay. 2-0 Manchester United. 2-0 Manchester United. Goals from... I said it the other day and I can't remember. I can't remember what I said. Garnacho. I think Garnacho will score. And I think... Maguire on a set piece. Ask him how to get taller, AJ. Bit harsh, mate. I'd ask him about dressing room tea, to be honest. I want to know what snacks they have at half time. That's what I'm interested in. Callum's gone for 3-1. He said, got to go. Sadly, missing some of the first half. Sad times, but it's for an important cause. Happy birthday, Morton. And 3-1 United. Bruno, Garnacho, and Ugarte. We do need an Ugarte emoji, don't we? David says 3-2 as well. A lot of people think we're scoring 3 goals. I love that. Garnacho, Bruno, Højlund. Nev says 3-2. Garnacho, Bruno, and Baz. Baz also kind of needs one as well. Dunny and emoji. Callum says 8-2. Manu says 3-1. Delict, Højlund, and Bruno. Yes, please. Just want to see Højlund score. Feels like ages since we saw Højlund score. It probably wasn't, was it? When did he last score? It feels like a while. Actually, 6-1, Dallo Screamer. Chad says 6-1. Morton, sorry, but unfortunately Nev beat him to it, so it's irrelevant. I think 1-0 in favour of Arsenal. Sad. Hurts my feelings, that. Arsenal wins 3-1 and an Ugarte red card. Oh, God. The predictions were so positive. What happened? What happened? Good afternoon, Matt, mate. How you doing? How you doing? I can't see us scoring with that attack. I think Ahmad from the bench late on feels nice as well, though, doesn't it? I think it does. Do you think there's a possibility Rashford fails to find a club in January and ends up staying? Yeah, I don't think it would happen due to a lack of clubs wanting him, but perhaps clubs not being able to get the right deal, the right contract or whatever. So yeah, maybe he stays till the end of the season. We've got Ashton in the chat, and I believe, unless I'm very much mistaken, this is an Ashton that I know in real life. What an absolute legend. With the £2 donation, Ashton, thank you very much, mate. It says Mainu's going to score, and a Maguire gonna header one. I love the and a Maguire. He's just a Maguire. Thank you very much for the donation. Guys, you know what to do. Get that chat green for Ashton. What a legend. Thank you very much, mate. Here late to predict a Mainu masterclass. 8. I like it. I like it. I prefer Garnacho off the bench. Yeah, normally I would agree, but he's got to start some games as well, hasn't he? And not too many recently, so. Horseshoe is winning today. Hey, the Horseshoe always wins, mate. Horseshoe always wins. AJ has friends. I pay them. The Horseshoe of Doom. We will never escape the Horseshoe. You seeing the news that Napoli want to sign Garnacho? I have seen the news. I don't know how true it is. Don't know. AJ exists outside of my phone screen. That's just a rumour. Green for Norwich. Did you see they lost 4-0 to Brighton yesterday? I actually went to that game specifically to laugh at Norwich, because there's no club I love to hate on more than Norwich, because fairly local to me, and I enjoyed that. 4-0 loss. Crowd was sad. Living. I usually have a bad feeling before kickoff, but no bad feeling today. We're going to win. Love it, mate. I love it. What score do you reckon? Why is everyone so shocked that I've left my room before? It's kind of crazy. I would ask Amram, how do you build your plan to find a solution? It is just a rumour, I swear, mate. Man United fans is unrealistic. It's called delusional, mate, but we still believe nonetheless. Anyway, I think we are finished for the stream there. Now, the plan today is for me to be quick, for me to be speedy, and also, of course, still sensible, to get a video out on this game tonight, if possible, especially if we win. Especially if we win. Are you an Ipswich fan? No, I live kind of in between Norwich and Ipswich. Don't support either of them, but I like laughing at both of them. I probably prefer Ipswich more, to be fair, but no specific reason. I know a lot of Norwich fans, so I love it when they lose. That's the only reason, to be honest. That's why I get to go to a lot of games as well. But yeah, anyway, I think we are going to wrap the stream. Let's try that again. I think we're going to wrap the stream up there. Easy for me to say. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who has been voting in the poll. Anyone that joined the Discord server, anyone that left a like, if you haven't yet, leave a like. Anyone who subscribed, especially with notifications on, I mean especially those guys, shout out you. And just everyone who has been waffling along in the chat, wishing happy birthday to Morton, calling each other legends. We had some gifted memberships, we had some membership renewals, we had some super chats. What a good day. What a good day. Hopefully it's about to get even better, because the mighty Manchester United are going to go to the Emirates and we're going to smack them up. We're going to smack them up. We win 2-0. We will be back here this evening, breaking down the game. Hopefully, we're talking about how Ruben Amorim produced a tactical masterclass. The players executed it to perfection, and United progressed through to the next round of the FA Cup. That's the dream, right? That is the dream. You guys that are here often will know how these streams end. The word I would use is abruptly. The stream is going to stop at a random point. let me know in the Discord server what was the last word you heard in this stream, because YouTube always just cuts us off after I've pressed it at a weird time. So, yeah, let me know the last word I say in the Discord server, and also I will speak to some of you guys on the Discord server during the match, especially at half-time and at full-time as well. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the stream, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Now I just kind of say a few more words of waffle